Matthew chapter 2, it says that now after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, "Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And assembling all the chief priests and the scribes of people, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. And they told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea. For so it is written by the prophet, 'And you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for from you shall come a ruler who will be the shepherd of my people Israel.'" Then Herod summoned the wise men secretly and ascertained from them what time the star had appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word that I too may come and worship him." After listening to the king, they went on their way. And behold, the star that they had seen when it rose went before them until it came to rest over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they fell down and worshiped him. Then, opening their treasures, they offered him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed to their own country by another way. Kings will do nearly anything to hang on to their kingdoms. King Herod the Great was no different. He didn't really have a true kingdom. The Romans occupied Israel, and then they commissioned certain Jewish leaders to rule parts of the land and govern on their behalf. Herod the Great was the regional king of Judea, which included Bethlehem and Jerusalem. Talk about a traitor. A Jew who worked for the Roman occupiers. A Jewish leader who was answering to the Roman authorities. A fellow Jew who was pressing his thumb down on his own people for the sake of his personal gain. Some people will do anything to gain power. Herod's legacy was one of a builder who built and rebuilt elements of Jerusalem. He had the second temple built in Jerusalem, and he was also known for his brutal actions and tactics to maintain power, even having members of his own family killed. Earthly kings will do almost anything to maintain power. So when the word reached his ear about a prophecy and a star about a king coming from heaven to earth as the King of the Jews, he immediately went into self-preservation mode. He was going to keep his throne and maintain his kingdom at all costs. He was the King of the Jews, and no one would take that power away from him. The wise men were spiritual advisors, astrologers, mystics, and perhaps experts in prophecy. They weren't necessarily God-fearing men, but they were educated people who had an interest in the signs of the times. And Herod employed them to find the star and find the baby of the prophecy. And the wise men did just that. The text tells us in Luke 2 that God gave them the ability to locate the infant, the baby king of the Jews. And here was their dilemma. Would they serve the current king of the Jews and his earthly kingdom, or would they worship the newborn baby Jesus, God's King of the Jews, and his eternal kingdom? That is the dilemma for you and the dilemma for all of us. Will we live for earthly kings or the heavenly king? Will we attempt to make ourselves the king of life, or will we recognize Jesus as the king of this life, even my life? Who will we acknowledge? Who will we serve? Who will we worship? Will we live for the things of earth, money, pleasure, power? Or will we live for the things of God, which ultimately give us the best of earth and the things of heaven? Which king and which kingdom will we serve? Verse 11 says that going into the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they fell down and worshiped him. Then opening their treasures, they offered him gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. They worshiped him. They gave him gifts fitting for a king. Gold representing his royalty, frankincense pointing to his divinity, and myrrh, which would foretell of a royal burial at his death. They worshiped him. And after being warned in a dream, they did not go back to the earthly king to take part in his plot to kill him. And so the wise men and the dilemma of the wise men beg the question for you and for me. Somebody's the king of your life. Who is it? Which kingdom will you live for? Jesus is the king, and he gives us the opportunity to be part of his kingdom through faith in him. And when you surrender to his kingship in faith, he forgives us, he restores us to God, he allows us to live with God in his kingdom here on earth right now and in eternity forever. And tonight, if you call Jesus your king, then the encouragement for you at Christmas is to live like he is that king, not just today, but every day.